Greetings everyone, welcome to Chess Advanced, and this game is played by with the white pieces we have the prodigy Alireza Firouzja, with the black pieces we have world number one Magnus Carlsen. And no, it's not from the esports World Cup where Magnus absolutely, no doubt about it, obliterated Alireza Firouzja. But it's chess, it's all about your day. Sometimes it's your day and sometimes it's absolutely not. But this game is from a title Tuesday where Alireza could have his day if he finds the right move. So let's see how he did. So without further ado, let's start with this game. Here with the white pieces, Razor starts with e4. We have c5 by Magnus going for Sicilian defense, so we know it's going to be a fight. We have knight to f3, knight to c6, and just going for bishop to b5. We have e6, just going for the Nejmendino Rossolimo attack. We have castles, bishop to g7, and we have rook to e1. We have a6, pushing the bishop back, rook, bishop back all the way back to f1. So now here just d5, immediately striking in the center, and you could go for a move like here d4, but maybe it's just not something that Alireza is wanting to play. Here e captures, so here knight captures, and now just d4, immediately going for the center after trading the pawns. But now we have this knight to f6. Maybe he might be interested in trading those queens, but here just bishop to e3, and here we have c captures, knight captures, and here just blocking, not trading any more pieces. We have c4, and here in this position just knight to e5. We have h3, and here bishop to e7, knight to c3, and just castles by Alireza. And you have to be very much careful in this position. You could go for a move like rook to c1, feels like a very nice development move, going for that. But here after rook to c8, you play queen to b3, and after queen to c7, now targeting this pawn, so now you have to defend it. So just knight to a4, just bringing out this defender. We have bishop to e8, and now here after c5, just pushing that pawn all the way. We'll have bishop caps on a4, and we have queen captures, and here after knight to d5, now you go with bishop back because you don't want to allow black to mess up your pawn structure. And here after bishop to f6, just trying to put some pressure on this knight, so once the queen moves, you could have some ideas of taking it. And here after bishop to a5, attacking the queen moves, and here after rook to d1, both plays are absolutely fine. Here it could be anyone's game. White is a little bit better, but not that much. But here in this position, queen to b3 was played right away, just going for that pawn. But here in this position, just queen to c7, just defending it, and that too with undeveloped move, very absolutely fine. Rook a c1, and here rook a c8. We have knight to a4, just going exactly as the line I showed you, but with a different move order. We have bishop captures on a4, queen captures, and here just rook f to d8. And here b4 in this position, Magnus is absolutely going for pushing it, and Magnus. Alireza is pushing all of these pawns, but here Magnus has very nice control over these files. But here Magnus has to be careful because here rook to d7, and you're doing absolutely fine. f4, push the knight back, and here after f5, it can get very very scary because you need to find all those moves. f4, f5 is not something that you would want to play because sometimes it's just weaken your king that much. But you have to understand both of these bishops are very nicely defending your king, so you don't have to worry about this, so you can just push those pawns all the way. And here after e captures, here you play knight captures and f5, and here after once the queen gets to e5, you can go for this very nice knight captures on e7. And here after rook captures, queen to a5, and here after queen captures on a5, after trading those queens, you'll have knight to e5, a very nice centralizing move. Also attacking that currently is being defended, so even with the rook and the knight you still cannot capture it. But here after bishop to f4, attacking that knight, we have rook c to c8, rook c to e8. But this could be just a little bit better for better for white, as Magnus had, because here after b4 he played h6, just a normal move, not allowing the bishop to jump in and pin that knight. But here just queen to b3, Alireza moves the queen back, and he may be interested in pushing the pawns all the way and maybe getting the knight here. So it could be just anyone's game. But here knight to g6 and knight back to g6 after it has just been here, that you have to do because this pin I don't think anyone would have liked. So here after knight to f3, we have bishop to d6, and here after g3 we have knight to e5 again. Just moving those pieces back and forth. With other result, this is absolutely something you don't want to do. But he's Magnus, maybe he can just find something like that. But here you have to understand there's a very very sneaky line in this position. You could go for this very beautiful move of knight to d4, and you can see that the white with the engine bar, you can see that white is very much better in this position. And here a move like g5, but now you get this absolutely spectacular c5, pushing the bishop all the way back. We have bishop to f8, but now comes a even beautiful move. We could have this amazing bishop captures on g5, h captures, and now you go for this knight captures on e6. We have pawn captures, queen blocks, and just queen captures this knight. And yes, black is a piece up, but aside from these pieces and these rooks, I think anyone would choose white any day. Here, queen to g6, but now you have bishop to e2, rook to e8, attacking the queen, queen moves, and rook to c7. King to g2, we have a5, and here after a3, now you'd play this king to h8, getting into the pin, but that is the safest square. You don't want this bishop to develop with a tempo. And here after bishop to f3, now you go queen to g7, asking, just moving that knight anywhere and asking for a queen trade, because if you're able to trade those queens, attack does not happen, and when the attack does not happen, you're a piece up and in a completely winning position. But here just rook captures, and after knight captures, you just move the queen away. You definitely don't want to trade here. Rook to e7, queen to b3, and here just after a captures, you play a captures, queen to f6, but here just rook to c4, and here queen to e6, but here just moving the queen because that was pinned, and you won't and you won't be able to move your rook. So here queen to e5, asking for another trade, but here after queen to d2, knight to f6, you can see that these pieces are much more organized. Aside from this bishop is not doing anything, so you are a piece up. But when I start pushing those pawns with the help of this bishop, this is going to be very strong for me. And if anyone's who's pushing for a win in this position, it's definitely going to be white, not black, because black's pieces and king is just a bit too weak. So that is exactly what Alireza should have gone for, but he missed all of this. Not to blame him, because it's a blitz game. You're not going to find all of these lines. It's a classical game. Alireza finds it any day. But again, if if it was a classical game, Magnus might be having an insanely better position than Alireza as well. So knight captures on e5 was played directly by Alireza, but now comes bishop captures on e5. We have rook c to d1, but here just rook captures, and after rook captures, we have knight to e4, and this knight to e4 just gives Alireza a bit too much. He plays for bishop to g2, and now with this bishop to g2, he has moved from the defense of the c4 pawn, and here you are attacking the knight. So how do you defend it? Now you might think, well, I can just capture this pawn, and that also defends the knight, and that's exactly what you thought, and Magnus thought that in this position as well. But you see the bar, and now you understand what has just happened, because you've been a part of this just a little bit of a prank that now you understand has happened to you, because in this position there's just one move that completely ends the game on the spot, and Alireza finds it within seconds, because when it concerns about tactical shot, he's as better as it gets, because in this position Alireza goes for rook to d8 check, and Magnus on the spot resigns the game, because there's nothing you could do. If you capture here, then just your queen is hanging, so you can do that, and if you just move the king, then just rook captures, and I mean, it's just completely over. Once you capture this, you lose the piece. I mean, the game is absolutely over. So yeah, Alireza got this victory against the world number one in just 26 moves. That's absolutely amazing. And yeah, thank you all for watching. I'll be coming back with games like these, so stay tuned to the channel, subscribe to the channel, and I'll be seeing you guys very soon. Thank you all.